Brodie is the CEO of Galane Gold.
That's right. Well pronounced.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ticker is GG, I believe.
GG on the TSXV. So tell us, Nick, Galane Gold's operating in Botswana and in South Africa.
So look, Ravi was here about a month ago and had a good chat with you. And,
yes.
And we've had some good news flow through since then, so I thought it was worth coming and having another chat.
Awesome.
So in the last couple of weeks, we announced that we closed the financing on the Galaxy.
Okay.
So we've raised $5 million in debt. We closed a $2 million US equity, and we've got $3 million in cash flows, and we're going to put that back into production probably April 2019.
Fantastic.
7,000 ounces next year, ramping up to 26,000 ounces at an all-in of around 900. So
okay, that's good.
Add that to Mupane, which is around 30,000 ounces a year, an all-in of 1,050. And in 2020, you've got a 56,000 ounce producer at an average all-in of around 1,000.
Wow, and we're starting to see some cooperation in the gold price finally.
It's come up a little bit. You know, Ravi's a big bull. I'm a finance guy. I concentrate on the costs.
Right.
I can't do anything about gold.
Right.
Yeah, I've got to worry.
Costs you can control.
100%.
Price of gold you can't. Interesting. So, in terms of operationally, like, where are the risks in these projects?
So Mupane, there's no risk to me. That's a mature mine. You know, if you know Botswana, Botswana's a great place to do business. It's always top 10 in the Fraser Index of places in the world to go mining. Yeah, so it's a different Africa.
Right.
I've worked in the Congo with Katanga Mining. I've worked in Zimbabwe. You know, I've been to these places. Trust me, Botswana's lovely. Yeah.
Really? Is it?
It's a game drive to work every morning.
Huh.
Yeah.
And do you live there?
I live there 50% of the time.
Right.
Based in London, but you know, I fly around the world wherever I'm needed.
Right.
And it's a mature mine. So now we've gone underground, which was the big thing we needed to do to reduce costs. And it's we replace what we mine now.
Sure.
So I see that as a mature asset with very little risk. South Africa, we've de-risked it as much as we can. You know, there's always a political risk in South Africa. I understand that. But you know, part of the financing meant we had to get a new order mining license. We've done all the environmental. We have an economic partner. We've done everything we can to de-risk. Also, it's the greenstone belt. We're greenstone miners. And it's the same greenstone that we're mining in Botswana. So we understand it. Metallurgically, the mining method will be the same. The mining contractor we're using is exactly the same mining contractor. So in my mind, we've de-risked it a huge amount. The last key to that, and was something we signed a couple of weeks ago, was an offtake agreement. Because we're going to be producing a concentrate.
Right.
So the ore is highly refractory, which it's got sulfur in it. So recovery is around 55% if you run it through a normal CIL plant. But as we're selling it as a concentrate, we're going to get 75%. Yeah?
Okay.
Which is the recovery we get at Mupane producing gold ore.
Right.
So I've added 20% revenue on the top end.
Yeah.
On top of that, I've reduced my operating costs because no longer am I running the CIL plant.
Right.
I don't have to buy the cyanide, etc. So it's unlocked a lot of value there and made it a very, you know, good proposition for us.
Interesting. What's the sort of the blue sky in terms of exploration potential at these projects?
So look, Mupane, another bit of news we put out 2 weeks ago. So thanks for asking.
Right.
We've signed a farming agreement with B2Gold.
Right. Okay.
We have over 1,000 square kilometres of exploration land.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the money to go out there and explore ourselves. So B2 and their geology team were actually the team that found Mupane. So they know it very well.
Wow.
Yeah. Approached us.
Serendipity.
Approached us and said, look, we'd like to do some exploration. We think there's a $1 million+ mineable resource there, and we're going to do that work. So they're going to pay $4 million over the next 3 years for a 70.
Is that like a 50-50 deal? Is that?
So no, for that $4 million, they'll get 70% of the joint venture that we formed just on the exploration. So Mupane as a mining operation carries on. They don't have any play in that. So we could end up with a 30% free carry and a 100,000 ounce plus producer. Let's say they don't find that asset. It does happen, it's exploration. Maybe they only find a 400,000. That's great for me because they're going to give it back to me. And they're going to walk away, and then I'll be 100% owner in a 400,000 ounce resource, which is just going to add to Mupane's life.
Sounds like you got the numbers figured out quite well here, Nick.
Yeah. So do you own 100% of Mupane with no royalty?
Yeah, 100%. There's a 5% royalty in Botswana.
5% royalty to the government.
To the government, yeah.
What kind of mine life do you have in these producers?
So if we look at Mupane, it's I call it a 4+. Okay, so the resource we've got there, I can only talk about a 4-year life.
Right.
But as I said, as I'm mining, I'm replacing. So if I'm a mature underground mine, I'm going to tell you next year I'm going to have another press release saying I've added another year.
Right.
Yeah, and the year after that I'm going to say I've added another year. So I can only talk about 4, but I think it's got a long life in front of it.
You think like at least 10?
At least 10. You know, when we acquired it in 2011, we were told it only had 1 year life. So here we are in 2018.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about a 4+. So,
Wow.
you know, I've proved that the resource is there, and then you can extend the mine life.
So I'm curious about the risks in South Africa. Not to belabor the point, I'm sure you get this all the time, but you've got your labor risk, you've got your access to electricity risk, you've got the broader political risks. And how do all of these things get managed by a small company like Galane?
So you've got us wrong.
Oh, okay.
So you're thinking of a deep Witsrand mine
Uh-huh.
in Johannesburg with a huge workforce, narrow veins, yeah? We're not. We're up in the hills in Barberton, right next to the Kruger National Park.
Oh,
yeah?
okay.
Added access, stoping, mechanized mining. You know, we have 170 people at Mupane. We'll probably have a similar amount of people working for us at Galaxy. So even though we're talking about 26,000 ounces, we're not going to have a huge workforce. A lot of that's going to be subcontracted. I'm a great believer in bringing other people in. They're doing what's best.
Right.
Yeah. So again, I'm not really concerned about that side that you imagine of a political risk. I mean, the political risk is there in a way because of the empowerment. Yeah.
Right.
But you know, there've been the new guy in charge has done some good things. He's pulled back on some of the changes that were proposed and taken it back to 26%.
Right.
And I think it's moving in the right direction.
Interesting.
Now you're planning on doing some production in Australia as well, right?
So yeah, another press release that went out in the last couple of weeks is we've announced the potential acquisition of Andy Wells. That was an asset that was in production up to November 2017. Went into production in 2013. We put a plan together, put it back in at 50,000 ounces a year at an Aussie all-in at about 1450. The acquisition is complete at the end of January, but we're doing a technical report at the moment and a PEA with Snowden, a big company, just to prove our view.
So you're saying your costs will be 1450
Aussie dollar.
Aussie dollars.
So gold in Australia is 1,700 Aussie dollars, yeah?
Right.
Okay.
So it's a profitable operation.
Right.
But it's got huge potential. At the moment it's got 350,000 ounces, but it's open at depth. But it fits our model. It's greenstone. It was a bit
Well, how do you get this? How did you get that contact? Like, what's your?
So we've been, we're looking for the next asset. We're trying. I've got a strong management team that I brought on board. We turn around Mupane. The idea is to get Galaxy working, turn that around, find the next asset. So the Australian asset to me is the next asset. So we've been looking around for greenstone, which is our skill set, and underground mining. Yeah, and there's greenstone all over the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say to me, "Why don't you go to West Africa?" Do you know how long it takes me to get to West Africa from South Africa? 2 days. Do you know how long it takes me to get to Australia from South Africa?
Day and a half.
12 hours.
Oh yeah.
Close, Ed.
So it's actually closer for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Than going up to West Africa. So people need to realise it's and also a lot of the South Africans are in Australia now. So I got
Why does it take you 2 days to go from South Africa to West Africa?
Because you've got to fly all the way to Europe and back out again.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no planes directly from...
No planes.
Come on.
No.
That's fascinating. So then, the Mupane mine is now a profitable operating gold mine.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that Galane is going to specialize in acquiring smaller, it sounds like you're not looking for the 5 million ounce behemoth that you're going to upsell to, Rand Gold or
We're
something?
not an exploration company, we're a production company, yeah?
Right.
But
Yeah.
we're going to build on the production. So the first asset we got 30,000.
Yeah.
Galaxy, I see it could be a potential 60 to 70,000 ounces. There's a great opportunity to scale that up again very easily. And then, Andy Wells was historically a 90,000 ounce producer. We get there again. So we're building the size of companies that we're taking over.
Nick was saying to me that if they get to the 100,000 ounce,
Yep.
and then gold moves up $100,
Yeah.
that's an extra 10 million a year cash flow.
Yeah.
That's that simple.
So that's why when Robbie first told me about this, he was asking me, what can you do to help a gold mining company? I said, well, generally not much. He said, well, this one's a little different. He told me about it. I said, well, that one's, if anything can be moved, certainly Galane Gold can. It sounds like a great story.
Yeah, it is a great story. It is a great story, but I've observed a couple of smaller producers. There's one in Nevada that's having problems because I think they're running out of ore.
Right.
And the other one's the one in in Newfoundland, Anaconda. And Anaconda has done nothing in terms of the stock situation.
Right.
So
right.
you need gold moving in the right direction.
The gold moving in the right direction is great for us. Yeah, and my view is stay in the game because gold's going to come back to us.
Yeah. Just a matter of time.
Yeah. No, lives in London, England, so I'm going to have him talk to Peter Cunningham.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's an international community
There we
around
go.
here.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, that's a great update on the story. We're going to actually send our cameraman down there in November.
I'm looking forward to it.
We've got to coordinate while you're here. And so we'll come back to you in about a quarter's time or live from one of your projects down there. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, guys.